真っ白ページめくる飛び出す彩り弾ける万華鏡の風景気づけばストーリーはまだぎこちなく始まったばかり深呼吸をもう一回旅する
Hello. Tamaki senpai is poorly, so I've had to run a few errands and I am in charge of this Shojo Sunday again. So let's get into it. We got the best Shojo in the collect. Well, technically, I thought I'd go through like different stuff I've been like watching and getting into lately with Shojo Sunday before I like introduce the whole video. I do have plans for a Sawako cosplay in the future, so I'm very excited to do Sawako in the near future at least. Because this series hardly gets talked about much. So what we'll be getting into is from the Me to You series. So it's a manga series that's been ongoing for quite a long time. It did finish, I think it were a few years back. But the anime, I think the anime just kind of left it on a cliffhanger and I just want to talk about it. So, as well as the From Me to You series that I've just recently finished, I've also watched all of Tomo-chan is a Girl. Highly recommend it if you like really funny romance kind of stories. So there's that. And I've been reading a lot of the Apothecary Diaries lately as well, so that's sort of like ongoing, but I still have my love and obsession for Apothecary Diaries within like my last sort of video that I talked about in a way. So I'll link that in the description. Sorry, the bunny wants attention. So I also do want to show you the Apothecary Diaries art book that I got recently as well. It's this. So I will insert a few clips after I've shown this off. It's really cool. And I really like the art of it as well. Like, it's like got really nice art and that's why I'm keeping it. Surprised that Freerun hasn't got one yet, but I'll be on the lookout for that soon anyways. So that's the drawings, the characters, and yeah. But I will insert the clips now of what it looks like in the inside. I also do want to mention that I've been watching a lot of Time on B-Side. Would highly recommend it if you're into idol groups and like idol anime from like a romance sort of like point. It kind of gives me Utapri vibes, but at the same time it's like a very different story to Utapri. But like I really like Taimon's energy, if that makes sense. So like he's just a silly little guy, is Taimon. That's all I can say. And now, welcome to Talk Corner. So today's Talk Corner today, we'll be talking about from the Me to You series. So it is an anime series, so it's like a shoujo romance anime series with the very interesting characters and quite a really good plot, to be honest. It is quite wholesome in my opinion, so I think this is probably one of my most wholesome-est anime series of all time that I've like looked back at and I've like rewatched it a little bit here and there. I've heard the live action series is good as well. Spoiler warning, this is your spoiler warning for Shojo Sunday if you haven't seen From Me to You series or Kimi no todoke. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's only a very short series, but highly recommend it. So the original From Me to You series, it's kind of like it's 3 series long, if you're counting the anime, but if you're counting the manga, I think that's a bit longer in regards From the Me to You series. So it's a very popular shoujo romance anime, even though it's sort of like underrated in like some contexts, if that makes sense. So I put it under the list with Auron and possibly Toradora and My Little Monster as well. So like they're in like that sort of like category in a way. So season 1 introduces Sawako. She's pretty new to school and a lot of the students are absolutely terrified of her because she has a bit of a cute yet scary kind of look. But she can be very pretty and like act tough for like herself and like others, and she can come off as like a little bit shy here and there. But at the beginning of like the show, she's more intimidating. But once you get to know Sawako, she's not that bad, pretty much. I mean, she did struggle to make friends in the beginning of the series, and she ends up making friends with Ayane and Chizuru. I mean, there's sort of like a girl group throughout the series, if that makes sense. Spoiler warning, this is your spoiler warning for Shojo Sunday if you haven't seen From Me to You series or Kimi no todoke. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's only a very short series, but highly recommend it. So what they do is they get introduced to like a group activity. So this is like the first couple of chapters in From the Me to You series. So you get introduced to the main sort of guy. His name is Kazuhaya, and Kazuhaya is like one of the most popular boys. He's a bit of an athlete. He does like baseball and stuff like that. He's just like your typical jock sort of boyfriend within the series. And I think I really enjoy like their first introduction when they got like, he wanted to know where the school was and she like pointed in that sort of like direction in a way. A lot of guys fear Sawako in the beginning because she tends to be a little bit scary, but they kind of let her get used to her. They like each other as friends to begin with, but there's times where he's said no and there's times where she said no. Like in between, it's like a will they won't they situation. But at the end of season 2, they confess their love for each other. There's no one that knows at the time, but in later seasons it kind of develops within, so it kind of explains itself within season 3, kinda. But the season 2 moment just hits you in the feels. this was like during like the festivals. So let's say there was like the school festival on, and obviously Kazuhaya and Sawako, they like have like a little hug, like a little like intimate session, and I love like the group's like development overall of Sawako in general, just to make sure that she's alright. And there are relationships outside of Sawako and Kazuhaya. So Chizuru and Ryu get together, they're a couple. And Mogi and Ayano get together. So those all her friends get boyfriends. So that's pretty lucky. So series 3 only covers up to manga chapters 74, but I have to warn the people online that season 3 is very short, and in the Christmas episode they actually kiss. I also want to talk about them adopting a dog on one of the very first like couple of episodes, because I feel like that's their dog. In my opinion, that's their dog. And like, as someone who's more of a dog person than a child person, like I feel like it's very wholesome to like adopt a dog in an anime series, and I hardly see a lot of it's hardly mentioned within shoujo romance series, like if they adopt a dog. But I like the concept of them adopting a dog, so let them adopt a dog instead of having children. But that's just my take on it. But I really love the dog that they both adopt together. He's very cute, but I think it's more of a I think it's more Kazuhaya's dog than Sawako's dog. So at the end of the manga, it shows Sawako and Kazuhaya as university students together as a couple, but they end up getting engaged and eventually married. I do want more seasons of this series because I feel like there isn't a lot of it out there. Like, I do want like more animated stuff within the From Me series. I do want like more stuff to get animated, but it just kind of left it on a cliffhanger, and I don't know whether Netflix is gonna pick up another like season. Like we need a season 4. We deserve a season 4 of this. I love the trip episode. I know it gets feelsy every now and then, but I really enjoyed the trip episode of this series. What I find really funny is the family introductions as well with those episodes, so that's quite funny and hilarious. So it's mainly to do with Sawako's family. I think a lot of people relate if your dad is like Sawako's dad. So there's that. I need to check out the manga so I can get like more into it, and I also need to check out the live action series as well. I could do like a live reaction to the live action series on here, maybe, if I've got the time or the chance to, when I eventually get there. I rate the series a 10 out of 10, only because the story itself, the writing and the romance for the series is fantastic. There's a lot of funny moments in between, a lot of feelsy moments in between. Overall, a really wholesome series, and I would highly recommend it for you all. Now, my next Shojo Sunday is going to be maid cafe themed, because we are talking about Maid-sama. We're talking about Maid-sama. So I've had a hyperfixation on Maid-sama for quite a long time, and I feel like it needs to be talked about. I'm still not 100% sure whether the season 2 theory is true or not. It's just kind of condescending, and I just want to talk about Maid-sama. I'm gonna rewatch Maid-sama and talk about it. Mainly talk about Usagi and Usui Takumi. But Usui Takumi is the main love interest of Maid-sama, and you might see me cosplay him at one point. And that's all I really want to go for this Shojo Sunday series. I'm going to leave it now, and I'll see you in the next Shojo Sunday. Bye.